This is one of the worst Star Trek films ever made. However, here are 5 facts that you probably didn't know about Star Trek The Motion Picture.
Tell me.
Released in 1979, Star Trek The Motion Picture was the first ever theatrical released Star Trek movie. Now, it originally was given a budget of $14 million, and this skyrocketed to $44 million. And despite making $139 million worldwide, the film was considered a failure. In fact, after seeing the film shortly after its premiere, William Shatner, Captain Kirk himself said, well, that's it. We gave it our best shot. It wasn't good, and it will never happen again. 45 years later, I think they did all right. And if you enjoy this video, please consider giving it a like. Of course, you can subscribe as well. We're working towards 1,000 subscribers. But here you go. 5 facts about Star Trek The Motion Picture you probably didn't know. Number 1. Star Wars brought back Star Trek. After its final episode aired in 1969, there were rumors and calls for Star Trek to return, and this almost happened in 1977 with the TV series Star Trek Phase 2. This would have reunited most of the original series crew. Well, I say most. Leonard Nimoy was holding out for a few things. You know, he wasn't happy with how little Spock was involved in the new series. Also, a slight issue with some unpaid royalties from the original series. But they did introduce some new characters that made it into the motion picture, Decker and Elia. There was also Science Officer Zahn, who didn't make it into the movie, but he would have been the replacement for Spock. There was also a new look Enterprise. Unfortunately, even as pre-production started, there was a network change, and suddenly there were concerns about the cost of the project, and they decided to retool the pilot into a straight-to-television movie, until the unexpected runaway success of a little movie called Star Wars. Initially thought to be a fluke, it convinced the studio heads otherwise, and on the 21st of October 1977, the decision was made to take this television movie and make it into a fully fledged theatrical release. Evidently, to get the push to theaters, Star Wars was the movie Star Trek was looking for. Number 2. The fans who saved Star Trek appeared in the film. From the day it first aired, Star Trek was threatened with cancellation, a show that the network didn't know how to market and had originally rejected its first pilot, The Cage, for being too cerebral. Low ratings throughout its entire run meant that it was always at risk. It was the enthusiasm of fans that kept Star Trek on air, and when rumors spread in late 1967 that the show was up for cancellation again, a letter-writing campaign led by writer Bijou Trimble and her husband John was credited with keeping Star Trek around for its 3rd season. As a thank you, the Trimbles and many others involved in that letter-writing campaign were invited to be guests in the scene where Captain Kirk addresses the crew. It's a good thing that the letter-writing campaign happened before social media, otherwise it would have been a lot angrier with a lot worse spelling and grammar. Number 3. Spock's dad appears but doesn't. Mark Lenard first appeared in Star Trek as a Romulan commander, but he was more well known for playing Spock's father, initially in the episode Journey to Babel, but then also in the movies Search for Spock, The Voyage Home, and The Undiscovered Country. However, he also appeared in the motion picture, just in a slightly different role. As V'ger makes its way towards Earth, it encounters 3 Klingon warships, one of which is captained, under heavy prosthetics, by Mark Lenard, playing an unnamed Klingon. You know what? Having already played 3 Star Trek species, when he got invited back for The Next Generation, he should have demanded more. He could have been Jeffrey Combs before Jeffrey Combs was Jeffrey Combs. Number 4. A miracle worker created the Klingon language. Linguist Mark Okrand is the man who developed Klingon into the fully fledged language we know. However, it was first heard in the motion picture before Okrand was hired by Paramount to develop the language. According to Mark Lenard, remember me just talking about him right now? Mark Lenard first appeared in Star Trek as well. According to him, James Doohan, aka Scotty, devised the sound of the language and also a few words which he recorded for Lenard. It makes sense that the actor behind Scotty is also the one who created the sound of the Klingon language. He was inspired by Scottish engineers for Scotty's accent. He was clearly inspired by Nights Out in Glasgow for the sound of Klingons. Number 5. There are 3 versions of the motion picture. Pretty much every geeky film you can think of has received a director's cut. Now, sometimes this improves the film. Think Superman 2, Lord of the Rings, or the Rogue Cut. And sometimes it doesn't. Think The Hobbit, Apocalypse Now, and of course, this. The motion picture has the theatrical release, it has the director's cut, and in 1983 there was a special longer version which was the first TV showing of the film. Containing a couple of extra scenes involving Elia, Chekhov and Sulu, it also included an unfinished shot of William Shatner leaving an airlock where parts of the soundstage were actually still visible. Now, the reason for this is because they were filling in a 3-hour network movie premiere slot without considering how detrimental this would be to the movie. I guess we're lucky that we were constrained by a 3-hour time slot for the movie, otherwise we may have ended up with extra scenes such as Spock trying to play the bongos to communicate with V'ger, or seeing William Shatner try to squeeze into his girdle. So there you have it, 5 facts about Star Trek the motion picture that you probably didn't know. I mean, if you did, tell me in the comments. If you've got any other facts, tell me there in the comments as well. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Consider subscribing to the channel. There's loads of geeky content that I'm going to be putting out on here. And we're working towards 1,000 subscribers. I'd love you to be part of that. I'm also going to link all my socials in the description below, as well as my Discord. So please come and join that, where you can get involved in ideas for videos in the future. Thanks for watching.